Hello, we are here with Gary at the Willys picnic, and we're checking out his sweet CJ2A, and he's going to tell us a little bit about it. So just give us a rundown on where you got it and your history with it, what you've done to it, things like that.
That's good. Well, it's a 1946 CJ2A, like Seth said. I got it from a gentleman here in Pennsylvania about 5 years ago. Originally, when he bought it, it had a PTO on it, but then he had removed the PTO from it. He was using it for reenactments at the different war museums with the airplanes and such, and he had it geared up for more like on the airfields. So after I got it, I wanted to make it into a farm Jeep, put it back to that. So I was able to find the parts and mishmash them together and put it together. So we did some mechanical things to the Jeep, but he did a good job on making it sound for me in the first place. But we had to do some brake work and some engine work on it, and that all worked out well. But then we got to put together the PTO system. The PTO system I found in Wisconsin, so we drove out there and did a weekend trip out there, did in a Packer game, and picked up the parts out near Oshkosh. And then I found the Monroe 3-point hitch system that was in Ohio, and both those systems, they were in okay shape, but we had to go through them and rework all of them. We redid the hydraulic pump for the Monroe, redid all the bearings, and rebuilt all the PTO system, redid all the rams on the Monroe 3-point hitch system, got it all installed, got the manuals, and it was really surprising how well everything went together for these old of a vehicle, and as much has been done, everything just lined up according to the manual on how to install it all. So we got it all working. This last year we finally finished it, and was able to found a Newgren plow, single bottom, a couple years ago. Did the restoration on that this last winter, and this spring we got to plow our cornfield with it, so it was pretty cool. It worked out really well. So yeah, we were pretty excited. It worked really well in four-wheel drive, and I was really impressed with how well it worked. The Monroe has down pressure on the 3-point hitch system, so you got to be careful when you're pushing it down. It stops you, drops you right. It just stops you in your track. So it takes some workings. We got some modifications we want to do. Eventually I'd like to do what Seth did with his back of his cab. I like the half cab, but when you're trying to plow and look through the back window, it's not very convenient. So I'd like to do that half moon off the back, and so we could close it and open it up. But for plowing, it'd be nice so you can see right back.
Okay, so you said you're taking it back to like a farm Jeep roots of this Jeep. Can you show us? I know you talked about the PTO and the 3-point, but are there any other mods to the Jeep that make it a farm Jeep?
Yeah. So if you look up here towards the front, along with the 3-point hitch, there's the front weight, because like with the plow, if you didn't have this on the front, you wouldn't get any traction from your front. So this was an accessory that they had with the hitches, so they give you extra weight so it won't pop up on you. And then the other thing is, of course, this front grille screen to keep the weeds and the grass out of your radiator. That would be another modification that they would have had as part of it. The other modification, which I don't have, which I'm going to work on and try to find, there's different shields to protect the PTO shafts. So I'm looking for those, or they have somebody have said they have the patterns on how to make those myself, so I can get that. That keeps the grass from wrapping around the PTO shaft and around your drive shafts when you're doing hay. I've been lucky so far, the grass hasn't been that long that I've been able to wrap it around, thankfully, but that's a modification. And the only other modification I don't have on this, what I really am looking for, it's like a work in progress, is I'm looking for the governor, a Novi governor, because that works better because it is kind of a pain with running the PTO at a constant speed. So that's the other thing I'm looking for. Once I get those two things, then this one will be complete.
Okay.
And go
now,
from
do you
there.
have any plans to get any other implements, like buck saw or front PTO implements or anything else?
Front PTO I thought about, but it's kind of hard with the weight to do the front PTO on these. They do have a hole right through the weight. This again was impressive to me that I just bolted this on, everything just lined up perfect, and they have a hole through so that if you want to use your crank start, you can still use your crank start. But to get any mountings for like the 3-point or for anything up front, it's pretty tough to do. But yeah, I'll probably look for a disc, 3-point disc for it, just to do some work with that.
Very cool.
And do work on that thing.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, before we go, do you mind giving us a little demo on the 3-point?
So here we go.
Well, Gary,
good.
thanks for showing us your Jeep, and we'd
thank
like
you.
to give you a $100
thank you.
gift card from
Sounds
Kaiser
great.
Willys.
Thank
and,
you so much.
buy
Seth.
some more
Thank
parts.
You.
and
I'll
keep
be
it
getting
running.
more parts from them. Thanks.
Thank you.
Next purchase.